Hey.
Hey,
I
everybody.
was still muted. How y'all doing?
Hey,
Good.
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 I cannot hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
We can
Yep.
hear you.
Okay, good, good, good. What's going on? Happy Wednesday.
Happy
Happy
Wednesday.
How
Wednesday.
y'all feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm
Tired.
feeling
Same. I'm sweaty. I'm all shiny. It's so hot here after the rain. I was
Oh,
like, oh, did y'all see the reel with the dude, the white dude who does the Mother Nature, and she got the pink bonnet on, and she trying to schedule all the different climates for the week. I was like, the accuracy is too much. It's too much. Like I was hollering, and then Pollen came through dressed in all yellow with the Atlanta logo across his shirt, late to the meeting, just causing a mess. I was like, but this is literal accuracy. So anyway, y'all got to check that out. But today it rained in Georgia, and then was like, just in case y'all needed heat after the rain, you're welcome. And so I'm literally sweating. So I'll be keeping my arms like this because I'm sweating. And that's
You
not
got a little
cute.
taste of what we have in Florida all the time.
mm.
Huh?
All the time.
You
I
said you
hate.
deal with that all the time in Florida.
Mhm.
Yeah, I said you got a little taste of what we do in Florida all the time.
It's
Like
it's so
every day.
unfair. It's really unfair. It really is. Mel, before we get started, please tell everybody how your event went.
It was dope. After the storm, because you always know the devil got to try you. So there was a bunch of hiccups and things, but overall the show was amazing. Everybody showed up. I'm still getting messages and DMs about it. People ask me when I'm doing another one. I'm like, listen, don't ask me nothing for the next like month. I don't ask me nothing about another show. Give me a second. Let me.
Let me chill.
I said, listen, the show is so stressful. My knee told me it quit too. My knee was like, and I quit. Thanks.
Mhm.
I quit.
It did. My knee quit. So I'm over here. I'm knee braced up right now.
Welcome to the club.
Right. But the show
Right?
was
You,
dope.
I wanna. Every time I have to break out one of my knee braces, I want to channel my inner Claire Huxtable and bedazzle it like she did that shoe when she broke her toe.
That
I said
part.
that earlier today. I was like, I need somebody to come bedazzle my knee brace. They was like, you could do it. I was like, I don't want to. That's not what I said. I said I want somebody else to come do it. Y'all not listening to me. Um,
Give me the
but
blame.
right. But now the show was amazing. Our fellow Diamond Sisters, Kiara came, Keynote Key. She came and did her thing. La Vie, I don't listen. I feel like La Vie was Lauren Hill in her past life. I feel like
Period.
that was the same person because I don't know if y'all saw the side by side of the looks,
Hmm.
but I was like, oh yeah, that's the same person.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
I
fire.
saw it. You
But
That
did
was
good.
it
definitely
was dope.
fire.
Now everybody's telling me I should be a stylist. I'm like, calm down. Um, but I'm excited. The show is dope. I'm just kind of taking it in, doing my recon right now, getting everything together so that I can prepare to package it to take it to other cities. So
That is
That's
awesome.
dope. That's dope. And Phoenix, how was Baby Girl Sweet 16?
It was the super dopest party ever, and I'm just so honored and blessed that we were able to pull this off for her. And her gratitude post just like put me in tears. She posted a picture, and she said she wished on a lot of stars for this night, and it came true. And she thanked us, so it was good. But I love my family, and it's just not wilding with the Wilkses if we don't act up. And so the last candle or firefly jar that she gave out that night to be on brand was to her boyfriend, and he came up to get it, and she gave this speech or whatever it is. Why did Molly and Daniel, her stepfather, her bonus dad, and her godfather get up and do the scene from Bad Boys? Reggie look at least 30.
Because it's necessary. No, it was necessary. Like,
gotta let it be known.
yeah.
But
Like,
yeah, it was an amazing event, and shout out to our Diamond Tierra who held it down as my lead staff and coordinator. She was on point with
I love it.
everything, and there were so many times throughout the night where she caught me like doing stuff. Like at one time, I was bussing tables, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And she took the little bin right out of my hand. She was like, "Go, go, me." Oh yeah, it was an amazing
That's so
night.
dope.
Yeah.
That is so dope. I absolutely love the community side of what we do. Like our writing is great and it's impactful and all the things, but it's the sisterhood and the support that means the most. And so those are great examples of that common unity in that community. So of course we forgot to introduce ourselves. Our bad. That's our fault. We jumped right into
They should know who
conversation.
we are by now anyway.
They know, they know where
They
they
know
at.
us, but we sometimes have newbies. We have new subbies. How y'all doing? We have new gems and gents stopping by on Facebook and Instagram. How y'all doing? And YouTube. Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of the Hustle and Shine podcast. I am Natima Sheree, Queen Pen.
It's your girl Mel V, the MV Pen.
And it's me, Tiffany Mathias, the one true Phoenix.
Yes, and we are your hosts. So tonight we actually switched up. We were supposed to talk about something completely different, but then we saw a trending uh, or viral video that was getting a lot of traction on social media. And so we decided to kind of pivot and address that. We thought it was a great opportunity to speak about something relevant. Of course, this platform is dedicated to discussing healing. And we feel like this is an area that really requires our healing in terms of community. Many of you may have seen it. I could not find a clip to show it that we would have had license permissions. So I did not get to share it, but you may have seen it where there's a father in Houston, Texas, where he and his brother jumped another father of the young lady or the 7-year old girl. They were very specific about her age. The 7-year old girl's dad, and apparently the 7-year old had been bullying his daughter. Now, according to him, there were attempts to resolve the matter. He got administration involved, teachers, the school. He even got the other parents involved to no avail. There was no solution. And obviously, the daughter continued to bully his daughter. And so he took it upon himself to engage his brother and then go and physically attack the father. And he was intentional to do it in front of the little girl. So beating up her father in front of her. Um, Obviously, I have two positions on it, and we're going to talk about that tonight. I have not two positions. I have one position on it, but I have it from two different perspectives of what he shared. But before we jump into tonight's topic, leading by example versus dragging by force, I want you to take a minute and go share this live. There's a few reasons why we want you to share. One, because we appreciate you. Okay. We like the traction. And two, because I really feel like what we all can offer on this subject is going to help somebody. Our mindsets are similar in nature, but very different at the same time. And then we have a different approach and delivery. And so I feel like if you can't relate to the queen pen, the truth teller, Mel may say something that resonates with you. And if not, then our resident wisdom, I call her, what's the character from Lion King? Rafiki.
Rafiki.
Our resident Rafiki, because honey, this is wisdom and she'll hurt you right at the same time, pop you on your head. She may say something that resonates with you. And so I don't want you to miss the opportunity to get involved in this conversation. And we love to hear from you in the comments. We don't want the conversation to be one sided. You may not be sitting in front of the mic or the camera, but we would still very much like to hear what you have to say about the video, about the engagement. Look, and we got a fourth host tonight. The disrespect. Girl, my skin is like hot weather, heat. Yes, let's go crazy. Anyway, so make sure that y'all tune in, share the live, and then jump in the comments. Of course, you could always catch the replay, and we appreciate that. We do see you coming back later on watching us on YouTube, but there's nothing like having you present to engage with us and discuss this with us, because we don't want it to feel like our way is the only way of thinking. Your comment may present something that we have not considered. And so please go ahead, take a moment and share this live. All right, ladies. So tonight, I felt like this title was appropriate for what we're going to discuss. And that's us doing better to lead by example versus dragging our children, our spouses, our friends forward by force. Um, and so I'll set this up before I come to you, Tiff. I'm going to come to you first tonight. So I saw the video, and immediately as a parent, I wanted deeply to empathize with him. I really did. I wanted to connect on a parental level. I wanted to say, yeah, because I've had a daughter. Both of my daughters were bullied in elementary. Well, one is still in elementary school. My oldest is in high school now. And but she was bullied in elementary and middle school. And so I know the frustration of having to deal with your daughter coming home every day saying people are picking on her, bothering her, and physically assaulting or harming her. I get what that does to you, but I also understand that my daughter is watching how I handle this and how I respond to her being bullied. I know that she's watching how I engage and interact with the other parents sitting across the table from me as we're trying to discuss the best resolution for the two girls involved in this whole bullying situation. What I've added to that is the healing work that I've been doing and have done makes me that much more sensitive to what is causing this young lady to be a bully. Why is she bullying? What is she seeing demonstrated at home? What's happening to her at home that makes her come to school and take it out on, on my daughter? And when I really began to dig deeper and kind of uncover some pain points, I recognized that she was being bullied. She was the youngest of four children. And so her older siblings bullied and picked on and beat her up. So she took that to school, and then that translated in the classroom versus her trying to defend herself at home. And so we never really know why children act the way they do, why they're bullies, because I know many of us like to think that our children just become who they become, but there's a lifetime of influence that mold and shape and groom them into becoming who they become, whether you want to admit it or not, whether you want to own it or not. When I look at Amaya and I see the sassy mouth and the attitude and the rebellion and like just the gangster in her, I'm like, mm-hmm, she got that honest in a mug. Because that was me my entire pregnancy. That's still me some days. Whereas Araya is more gentle spirited. My oldest, she's more gentle spirited. She's more communicative. She's more calm. She'll listen first. That's my ex husband's personality. And so we see bits and pieces of ourselves and our children, but then we deny, like, no, that's not me. No, that is you. That is
Mm-hmm.
very much you. Um, so anyway, I want to first unpack this video as it relates to leading by example. I want to talk about our responsibility to lead by example in the home. So I'm gonna come to you first, Tiff. Let's first tackle the video. Please unpack the video from your perspective, and then leading in our home. You laughing? What you laughing at? Oh, because I forgot to shout out the book. This is out, by the way, y'all. Okay, go ahead, Tiff.
I'm laughing for many reasons. So
Okay.
I had saw the video probably about a couple of hours before you were like, "Oh, this is what we're talking about." Because I always look for the sober moment and the sip and shine, and I was like, "Ooh, this week got options." So healed and holistic Tiffany is like, brother man, like, why would you do that? The trauma that you would put in this little girl and da da da. Um, Wounded Tiffany is like, and don't do it again, because I've had children who are bullied, and I'm definitely the type, like, I'll joke around and be like, if you mess with mine, I'm gonna mess with you. I fight kids.
Period.
And I'm a petite woman, so some of these kids are bigger than me, so I consider it a fair fight. We ain't gonna talk about age, we talking about weight classes. So nah, I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm sorry. The brother's gonna get arrested, and this is gonna go further than that. But yeah, I'm with it. We have too many little children who unalive themselves because they're bullied, and it's at the fact that administration didn't do anything. Administration didn't step in to correct. Administration didn't step in to advocate for the person who gets bullied.
Mhm.
And then you have all of these little kids who sit here and their parents find them not breathing anymore. And it's got to stop now.
Mhm.
I understand completely what you're saying. Like, why does the bully bully? And normally a bully bullies because they get bullied and everything like that. And I could see, if that's the case, why the father took it to the father.
Mhm.
Listen, if it went through the administration, if it went through all the proper channels, then he's well aware of the fact that there's something going on with his kid. And I'm going to
Yeah.
speak from my own experience with my oldest child. Indigo, she's 29 now. So this is about 24 years ago. She's in kindergarten, first grade. She had a situation in which she was something improper was said to her by a little boy in the classroom. And I called for a meeting with the parents. And when the parents showed up, I was like, oh, that's why he is the way that he is. He's that way because the parents are that way. And yeah, there's levels and dynamics to it, but at the end of the day, when they're 7, we're accountable for what they do. So yeah, daddy had to get the pause.
Facts. Listen, I'm on your boat, Tiff. I was like I saw the video and I listened to it, and like you said, upon initial being healed and whatever, it's like, brother, did you have to really go there? But then as I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, so you had multiple meetings with the parents. Oh, so you sat down with the administration and tried to get it resolved. You talked to the parents. So not only were the parents aware from the administrative point, y'all sat down and you addressed the parents. And then nothing happened. And then you had another meeting and nothing happened. And then you had another meeting and nothing happened. So I'm like, it sucks because, like you said, yeah, he's gonna get, you know, he's gonna have to face the consequences of his actions. Um, but unfortunately, so do the parents. And you did not step in enough
Mm.
to rectify or remedy the situation of what your daughter was doing, because it's not necessarily, and as we, although we are a community and we should care about what's happening to other children around us, so I'm not taking that away, but if this father's child is being bullied or beaten up or physically assaulted or whatever the extent of the bullying was, it's really not his job to find out why the other child is. His job is to bring it to that child's parent and say, hey, this is what your child is doing. I need you to talk to your child and find out why your child is doing this and figure out how to get your child to stop. Now, that means that young child's parent did not do their job effectively to, you know what I'm saying, effectively to address the situation and deal with that. And so, as Tiff said, at that age, you are responsible for what your child does. Your child is not old enough to fully understand their actions and what they're doing. At 7 years old, they can grasp some concepts, but their mind hasn't developed to a point to really understand what they're doing and how what they're doing affects someone else. So it's on the parents. So they couldn't beat up the 7-year old, so daddy had to catch that fade. I'm just, I mean, I would be 100% against it if that was the first response. If that was like on site initial, but I feel like at that point as a parent, it's like, what more do I do? I've tried the school, I've tried this meeting, I've had a conversation with y'all, I've had multiple meetings, and nothing has happened, and it's still happening. So now you got to catch this fade for your kid.
Yeah.
I ain't really mad at it. Now, did he have to jump him? I'm like, you could have just shot the fair one. But then in listening to his response, I was like, that kind of makes sense too. Like, I wasn't really mad at his explanation. Like, listen, life ain't always fair. It ain't gonna come at you with the fair one. You're gonna get jumped by a lot of situations in life. And if you ain't prepared, if you don't handle yourself accordingly when they come, you got to deal with it. I don't know if the little girl should have been there, but again, his reasoning for that was she got to understand that in life, there are consequences for your actions. And sometimes the consequences of your actions affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard life lesson to learn that she had to learn it that way. But, or the old West Indian saying, say, who don't listen will feel.
Mm-hmm.
They
I
tried
mean,
to get
I
you to
look,
listen.
I get, I totally get what both of you are saying and what he said. Now, I will say this: I thought his video was highly ignorant. Um, I think it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for him. There were millions of comments who were in agreement with him, and I was embarrassed for them as well. And this is not a judgment. This is more so this is why we have to do better. Never the same way I taught my children, you don't teach them not to hit by hitting them. I
Mhm.
don't hit my kids when they hit each other. To me, that's oxymoronic. Like, don't hit, pow, you're an idiot. That's it's ineffective because your children do what you do, not what you say do. In the defense of the other dude, the other father, my youngest is a much different child than my oldest. My oldest, I can tell her something one time, give her a stare, even buck at her a little bit, that like New York buck, and she gonna get herself together. My little one, not afraid of it ain't a person on the planet that puts the fear of God in this girl. So when she gets in trouble in school, I can say, Maya, don't, Maya, stop, Maya, don't, Maya, stop. You can't, I'm gonna punish you, blah, blah, blah. And she's still gonna do what she wanna do because she's 7 years old. And unfortunately, we got grown ass men and women who don't listen.
Mhm.
Okay. So you really think a 7 year, I may tell her at home, Amaya, when you get to school tomorrow, sit still, do your work, don't throw nothing, don't talk, don't chew no gum, don't sneak no chapstick or lip gloss into the classroom. And guess what? I get a call in the note from your daughter was talking, chewing gum, she had lip gloss. I just told her not to do those things in school because my daughter is 7. And
Mhm.
so not only is she still developing in terms of behavior and mental awareness and you know what I'm saying, and self-control. So you mean to tell me that a parent, when you were a child, your parent told you something and you immediately got it, it clicked, it snapped, you got it together? I'll wait. And I'm not talking about y'all too. I'm talking about viewers and person who
Mhm.
made the video. Ain't no way in hell. Because again, we got people in their 40s still making stupid decisions, still doing stupid shit that their parents told them not to do.
Mhm.
So you really expect your 7 year old to do that. And so where I'm disappointed is one, we don't have a lot of black fathers in the community. And so now you took your authority and fought this. You can't even say you fought him, you jumped him. So he was already at a disadvantage instead of saying, hey, I know we tried it through the schools. I know, we sat down with you. How about we chat man to man?
Mhm.
I really need you to get your arms around your family. I really need you to do better at getting your daughter under control because she's harmful to my daughter. I Maybe he did try that and just didn't say it. But my biggest issue with the video, and I'm gonna come back to you, Tiff. I know you had something to add, wasn't necessarily what he did, it was his pride about it and his ego about it and the boasting about it. And you know what I'm saying, puffing his chest out about it, like, yeah, I did what I had to do and I did the Lord's work. First of all, watch your mouth because I'll slap you. You're not my God. Okay. Now, if you talking about little G or the God that show up in the crystals and in the zodiac sign, that God might be proud of you. But the God I serve is not. Don't you know? Because then I'm gonna come slap you because you being crazy. Like, no, that wasn't the Lord's work. Don't do that. Don't do that at all. And I just feel like it was so irresponsible to put it on social media for what? For clout, for
Mhm.
likes, for hearts, for validation, for approval, for co signing. But now, what does your own daughter think about you? Is anyone thinking about that? Did she look at that as protection or did she look at her father as a bully? We don't
Mhm.
think about the psychological safety of our kids. We don't think about the trauma we cause our own children thinking we doing the right thing. You
Mhm.
weren't doing the right thing for her. It was about you.
Yeah.
And that is the part that I'm pissed about because it's like, did you consider what what you're showing your daughter? When things don't go my way and conversation is not working and sitting across from the table is not working, just go and beat the hell out of the person, get them jumped. That's how we'll solve the problem. And so when she uses that as a defense mechanism or coping mechanism or something, you can't correct that later because
Mhm.
daddy, that's what you did. And you put it all over social media. So now you can't tell me that if my younger sibling or my cousin or my neighbor or somebody does something that I don't like and I'm not getting the response that I want out of them, that it's now okay to jump them to get the results that I want. That is the message that you've pretty much sent your child and the child of the parent that you jumped.
Yeah.
So it's a perpetual cycle. And to me, like again, you added insult to injury by boasting about it, dog. Like you did your daughter a favor. If you don't think your baby girl gonna have trauma behind that, you're out of your mind because she's 7. My
Mm-hmm.
daughter doesn't like watching me yell at her sister. My kids are 15 and 7. When I yell at my 15-year-old, my 7-year-old is like, I didn't like that. I don't like when you talk to my sister that way. And I don't even hit
Mm-hmm.
my kids. So can you imagine if I'm physically harming someone in front of her? That's
Mm-hmm.
traumatizing, even in the name of defending my child. And so anyway, I'll come back to you, Tiff, because I don't want to go on and on. I'll go on a rant.
So the first thing that I want to say is the Hustle and Shine podcast and the Diamond Writers do not condone violence.
That
These is all opinions. These are all, and it's easy to be on the outside of a situation and say, if I were in this situation, how would I handle that? And that's
Right.
because when you're on the outside of a situation, you are thinking logically, you are thinking with the common sense and the education and the forethought of what's going on. When you're in a situation, most of the time, some of the time, that goes right out the window because now the heart is involved. And when the heart and the brain are battling each other over the same thing, it can get
Hmm.
a little messy in there.
Hmm.
But what I wanted to say is I currently work in restorative justice. And in all honesty, and it's not too late, is that restorative justice needs to happen because now there's wrong all the way around. There's wrong because the 7-year-old was picking on the other 7-year-old. There's wrong because the administration didn't do what they had to do to de
That's
escalate the
correct.
situation. There's wrong because the father of the bully 7-year-old came in with the uncle and they did what they did. And one of the comments that stuck out to me the most was somebody who said, yeah, now him and his brothers and his homeboys are going to come for you. And now we got a whole situation where it just now has not, it's beyond a snowball. It has now avalanched into
Yep.
something.
yeah.
Yep.
So, what I want to say, and this is, probably I should have started with this, but I went with the smoke because that's where I've been in the last few weeks. Is I've been with all the smoke when
Right.
you know like cousin or like you rang like you like let me stay in my box. Restorative justice needs to happen in this situation, and I hope that there are those people like an Ayala Van Zandt or somebody of that magnitude who can get their hands on this and then be able to help de-escalate the situation
That's
because
good.
we are still at a point where this can be de-escalated.
Yeah.
We are
Yep.
still at a point where this can be saved, and at the end of the day, the most important thing is the social emotional wellness of the 2 7-year-olds involved.
Yes. Yep. That's so good, Tiff. I'm gonna come back to you, Mel, but that is so good, Tiff. I love that you said bringing in a therapist to really address what the real issue is, because let's just keep it real. Should the other father now retaliate, it will no longer have anything to do with the children or the safety of the kids. Now it's pride because you've embarrassed me. First of all, you jumped me. I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. You know what I'm saying? What we used to call it, you snuck him. You
Mm-hmm.
snuck him, and then you put it on social media. So now you've added an element of embarrassment. And what do people do when they're embarrassed? They retaliate. And
Mm.
so when he takes retaliatory, makes a retaliatory decision, who now gets harmed? It's no different than when we see things like, what was it, Columbine and some of the other mass shoots. It's always a bully. A victim of bullying. It's always someone who was bullied by other children, who was isolated and ostracized, and and was a social pariah. Those are the kids that come back and shoot up the school. And so we don't like it when that happens, but we're saying that this father's actions were okay. We're embracing it. Oh, he did what he had to do for his kids. But what about the kids who lose it and shoot up the school because of their bullies? Were they okay for that? Was that justified? Hell no. And I get it. You don't feel like this father is innocent because it's his daughter, but it's not him. He's not the one saying, "All right, baby girl, when you get to school tomorrow, make sure that you kick that little girl ass. Make sure you bother her." I'm sure there was probably effort because no parent, I don't care how ignorant, ghetto, I don't even think Sexy Red gonna want her son being bullied. And she one of the dumbest females on the planet. I don't even see her being okay with bullying. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, no parent is okay with bullying. And so I just feel like I don't believe that this father failed to do what he should have done with his daughter. I don't think that there may have been enough time. I think maybe that little girl felt even more pressure to bully the other girl because now you got me in trouble with my parents. We don't know. And so to say, well, I'm gonna handle it this way and it's gonna be what it is, and I'm gonna throw it on social media. So, sir, just stop. And where's your wife? That's what I want to know. Where's the wife or the girlfriend or the baby mama or whoever? Where is she? And what are her thoughts? So anyway, Mel, I'm gonna come to you, and then I want to move on to our next subtopic, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably, I don't want to say the biggest problem about it, but it that boastful bragging about it. Like if you did it, cool. You could have kept it where it was at. Like you didn't have to get on social media and share it with the world. You felt like you had to defend your daughter. You know, like I said, none of us know the extent of the bullying that she was undergoing, whether it was just verbal or physical or harm. I don't know. You
Right.
felt like this was the extent that you had to take to get the message across to them to talk to that. Cool. Um, you didn't have to get on social media because now it seems like you did. Now it seems like the defending of your daughter was only done so that you could get on social media and garner. It didn't seem like you did this for the safety of your daughter.
That part.
I mean, I kind of still stand a little bit on my first statement. Like I'm not necessarily I'm not necessarily mad at him for what he did as far as defending his child per se. Like I said, I feel like it should have just been a one-on-one, shoot the fair one, and
Right.
keep it pushing. Um, because I don't physically have children, but I have had bonus children. And I've raised nieces and nephews, and I ain't gonna hold you. I don't rang some doorbells like, excuse me, your child, what's up?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what you gonna we gonna talk about? Like, you gonna or not? And I
Right.
was ready to be like, listen, if you got to catch one for your kid,
Mm-hmm.
because like either you gonna get your kid in check or because at this point it's on you. I'm not gonna hit somebody else's child, maybe, but um, but um, an adult, hey, um, but I do feel like you said, there's a way in which you had to handle that. And again, I'm not in that man's head, so I don't know how long this has been going on for you to feel like you have gotten to that point where that's the avenue you had to go to, because clearly that wasn't your first reaction,
Mm-hmm.
because you went another way about it
Mm-hmm.
initially. So I don't want to be like, oh, he just out here trying to just fight people, because if that was the case, he would have just fought him from jump and they would have been
Right.
in school. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
feel like he had to have reached his point
Mm-hmm.
of like, I can't take my daughter going through this anymore and nobody's
Mm-hmm.
doing anything. But then to, like you said, but then to get on social media and then take it from, hey, I had this is what happened and this is how I needed to handle it, to, hey, look what I did, and it's different. Like
Right.
the video could have been done differently to
Mm-hmm.
address why you felt like you had to get to that point, and address, maybe better address the issue of bullying and talk about that, and explain, well, listen,
That
I
part.
was going through this and this is what had to happen and this is why this is where it led to for me, and
Right.
I don't want, rather than kind of like you said, from a like, yeah, so I ran up on old dude and did that, and yeah, I did it in front of his daughter. That changed the tone of what you were
Mm-hmm.
really trying to say, because your
Right.
whole point of this is to kind of address the issue of bullying, and
Mm-hmm.
bullying has consequences. That's
Right.
ultimately the goal, is to address that
Mm-hmm.
bullying has consequences, not just for the children involved, but for everybody else. And so that should have been how I feel like in the video, that should have been the tone
Yeah.
of what he was trying to get across, rather than a spirit of like arrogance and boastful, kind of like it almost kind of felt like, without him saying it, it was like, if they want to go again, we can go again type. You know what I'm saying? It
Right.
felt
Right.
like you wasn't done.
Right.
Like, I'm ready to
He,
come back, and it only escalates because
yeah.
then, like you said, unfortunately, you don't know somebody else's reactions to your actions, and so you went and jumped him. His response may be to come and put a bullet in you.
That's
Now, who's going to defend your daughter?
and that's the and because you live in Houston, my boy. You live in Houston.
Yep.
Okay, you.
No,
I don't think you live in a gated community. Okay.
no.
Oh,
And
let's
so,
just keep it a stat. Like we, when you have anger, when you are angry and you are led by anger, and then you add an ego to that, and you add pride to that, and you add embarrassment to that, there is literally no telling what we'll do. And when I say we, because I've had those days, I've had arguments with the other parent of the child who was bullying my daughter. But instead of reaching across the table and snatching her, I just turned to Araya in front of her and her daughter. And I said, the next time she hits you, you knock the out of her. So that's what I do. I put it on you. Learn how to defend yourself.
yeah,
Saying the bullying is ever okay. I hate it. I hate that because we got grown folks that are bullies. We got parents that bully their children. That's a whole nother topic for another day because I definitely want to talk about that.
Mm.
We are like bullying is unfortunate. It's like threaded in American culture. We get bullied by bill collectors. We get bullied by the government. Like we're just constantly being bullied, right? Like he said, life beats us up all the time. Yeah, we know that. Um, but at the same time, when you add the element of fear and then you add, like I said, pride and ego and your own trauma, all of that can make you make some poor decisions. And if this other father decides, I'm going to retaliate and I'm going to come for you, but his come for you has us doing some slow singing and flower bringing, what then what is the world going to say? Well, I can't, like, I don't want anything like that to happen, but I am dying to see what the same people who are commenting, that's right, 'cause that's what I would have did, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what you're going to say now when this little girl got to deal with either her father in jail or in the ground.
yeah,
Because when people are angry, all they see is their revenge. All they see is what they want the other person to feel. They're not thinking, oh, well, you know what? That father did the right thing. He came and whooped my ass, him and his brother. And you know what? Now I'm definitely going to get my daughter to stop bullying. No, now it's, oh, my daughter, she cool. Now I'm going to whoop his ass. Now I'm coming for him. I got bullets for him. I got this for him. And I just feel like it's going to keep getting worse. And then you're going to have two little girls traumatized. When we were younger, um, me and my cousin Chi Chi in Valencia, we were staying with Jenny. Remember, Tiff, we came to stay in Brooklyn with you and Jenny for the weekend. There was a girl who hung out with Melissa who was a bully. She was a straight bully. Like, oh my God, this girl was mean for no reason. And she was really jealous of my cousin Chi Chi. Because growing up, my cousin Chi Chi was it, honey. Okay, light eyes, hair, booty. She was dope. This girl didn't like her. Chi Chi ain't even breathe her way. The girl just didn't like her. And she wound up punching her in the face at a party. So instead of us going and getting Jenny or one of the other adults, we went and got our big cousin Tiff. What happened to them days? You ain't got no little cousin that could defend your 7-year-old daughter. You got to get involved. Where your cousins at? Where her big cousins at?
right.
There were
Where
so
her
many
siblings
stages
at?
that could have
It
happened.
was levels to this. I'm
Right.
go. It just actually made me. It reminded me of the scene in the wood when Stacy when Mike touched Alicia butt and she went and got Stacy.
Hmm.
Right.
Listen,
Where's the cousins and the siblings? Why we ain't let children handle children's situations? Like you went and did grown men's, like really? And I think again, I think that's the part I cannot wrap my head around. Like there were so many other ways you could have escalated this. Like, okay, he not doing what you want him to do in terms of getting his daughter under control. Sit down and talk to him, right? Because when they did an interview with Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson said that he used to beat up kids in school. He used to bully little boys in school. And when they finally sat him down and asked why were you so aggressive? Why were you so angry? Why did you used to beat them up? He said, I was jealous of anyone who had a father because I didn't. And so I'm like, is anybody trying to understand? I remember one of the little girls who was bullying my daughter. When we finally sat her down, I said, would you mind if I talk to your daughter myself? Like I said, you could be in the room. I'm not going to touch her. I just want to sit and understand what's her beef with my little girl. So I sat her down and I said, what, you know what I'm saying? What's your beef with her? Why don't you like her right? Mariah wasn't around, the mother wasn't around. They was off to the side, just me and her. And she said she leaves me out of things. She plays with everybody but me. She treats me like I don't exist. Hitting her and being mean to her is the only way to get her attention.
Mm.
And I said, so if you tried to be nice to my daughter and she became your friend, would you stop bullying her? And she was like, yeah. They don't want to be my friend. Nobody's my friend. And I'm like, I can understand that. Like, when you don't have healthy way of dealing with rejection, you don't have healthy ways of coping with being isolated and left out, you do act out in anger. And so the whole reason she was picking on my baby is because my baby was likable and popular. And so she was like, I just want to be her friend. But instead of knowing how to say at 6 and 5 years old, hey, be my friend, I'm going to hit you. No different than little boys who like a
I'm
girl.
gonna
What
say,
they
'cause you
do?
pull
Pull
your
her
hair.
hair, they hit her, they push her on the ground, all because they like her. Am I saying that it's okay? No. But can we be adults? Can we be grown ass people and say something deeper here? Because we've had conversation. Because here's the thing: if you've had conversation with the parents, that means the child been present too. So the child know that y'all trying to get the bullying to stop. The child is aware that the administrators are involved. The child is aware that the other parents know and that the other parents are involved and they're asking for it to stop. And yet it's continuing. So that means something going on with that little girl. Have we tried to get to her? Sis, what you going through that you keep picking on my baby? What is happening with you that you're targeting my daughter? And we've asked you to stop, and we've had meetings and conversations with your parents, but going to the other parent to fight? Who are we?
Yeah.
Like, and I just don't agree. I don't agree with his actions. I don't agree with the comments in support of his actions. I feel like we're parenting from a place of pride, and we're parenting from our own trauma, and we're parenting from a place of I'm going to show them, that this is the way I am as a parent. And we don't like taking the L in no situation. We don't like being humble in no situation. We don't like to communicate in situations. We just want to be able to fight and then post about it. And okay. All right. And so what happened when your baby in college and somebody fighting her in college? You gonna take a trip and fight the parent there too?
Probably.
Like, I really want to know.
Look,
Like, is you gonna
no,
come
look,
up to the school
look.
and fight?
When you get to college, your child 18, they ready for the kids at that point.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, you gonna be that dad?
Stupid.
Like, I just so
You know,
anyway.
I have a question. It's like, and it really doesn't matter, but I'm just curious to know the ethnicity of the other little girl.
Wait, what happened?
I said, it doesn't matter. I said, but I'm curious to know the ethnicity of the other little girl.
Oh,
I'm gonna
No, no,
say
I just really want to know
no.
because
I'm gonna give you my opinion on it.
mhm.
They the same shade because if he was this color, he wouldn't have jumped him.
No, I don't know about that. Again, we in Houston, so that's what I'm saying. And he
if
may not be, he may not be
Mel,
this color.
Mel, if he was this color, the police would have been there the same day. He would
But
have been
listen,
in jail,
hold up.
not recording a TikTok.
I don't think he. I'm not saying he. I'm pretty sure. I'm about 1,000% certain that he's not. He's not that color, but he could be another color in between. He could be in the shade of the spectrum. I'm just curious.
She said he looked
Mm,
like us.
right. He looked
He
like
could
me
be.
and Tiff.
I'm just curious because I'm all the way aware that he is not of our non-melanated
He
support
on
group.
this side of the spectrum.
Yeah, right. But
Right.
it's Houston, so there are other ethnicities that are very prevalent
You know what? You are absolutely right
in
because
Houston.
he could have been Latino. He could have been he definitely could have been some other
And so
things.
I'm curious
So we
because
just say
it's, and I say this to say, and this is just really, this might be very ignorant, but I don't care because we're talking about it. I'll say this to say that I don't feel like he's the same complexion because I feel like things might not have, there might have been. First of all, I don't know where this happened. I don't know where it happened, but if you and your brother roll up on this dude and his wife, girlfriend, cousin, aunt, sister, friend, anybody is it in vicinity, it's not going down like that.
It'd have been a hell melee.
It would have been the Mississippi rivers. Okay, it would have been that river. It's just not happening.
It would have been another Alabama slammer.
That's Alabama. Well, I said Mississippi, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I just curious because I'm like it just, and that's another thing I feel like unfortunately where we are. Um, we tend to know or get big chested around certain people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
you'll be real big to inflate your chest when you feel like it won't get deflated.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm
Somebody
saying?
told me monkey know what tree to climb.
Right.
That that's true.
Exactly. And so that's what's making me question it is because again, knowing our people, whatever, you gotta be real sure of yourself to because you wherever you caught him, you went to where he was at.
Right.
He didn't come to you.
That's
So you
probably
went
why
to
they jumped him.
where, huh?
I said it's probably why they jumped him because he
But
saw him and was
still,
like, I
and
ain't gonna handle him by
here's the thing:
myself.
you went to wherever he was at with one other person. You didn't know who was over there.
Right.
So there's something about that other situation that
Mm-hmm.
made you feel so sure of yourself
Mm-hmm.
that you felt like that was going to be a successful mission for you. Like you did a hell of a recon mission. You was back there, like you really, because you just not showing up. I don't know. I know back in our day when we was in the streets,
Mm-hmm.
if you was rolling up to fight somebody in their neighborhood, you was rolling 10, 15 deep.
Deep,
It wasn't
deep,
you and one person.
and one brother. Right.
That's
Right.
not because you don't know.
Right.
And so that's what I'm like. This is again makes me feel like I'm thinking. Now, see, now that you got this, now I'm really, y'all know me. I start thinking about all the scenarios. I'm like, you really recon this. Like, you was like, okay, he gonna be here at this time, and ain't nobody else gonna be around, and he gonna be because other than that, either you was rolling up with way more people than that,
Mm-hmm.
or you just really thought that this dude was a square.
Right. Right.
Because I don't go. I'm not rolling up, even if it's non-confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going up to somebody else's property, anything to have a conversation, even
Mm-hmm.
by myself or one person, especially if I'm going to where you are, because I
Right.
don't know what your response or reaction is going to be. You rolled up to wherever this man was, whether it was his job. I would hope and pray you didn't catch this man at school line when the kids was getting out of school,
Mm-hmm.
but you went to wherever he was, whether it was his job, his house, or whatever. You went to his, circle of safety and invaded it. And
Hmm.
I'm like, did you think about what could have happened when you got there?
That part.
Like, forget
That
the
part.
retaliation now. Did you think about what could have happened when you got
When you
there?
pulled up. Right.
So
Right.
here's how we like to. We definitely not gonna get to the other two subtopics.
Right.
It's gonna be because we already almost 10 minutes left to the episode. But Mel playing devil's advocate as she normally does, talking about like he did some recon and he knew what he was rolling up on, like he knew he was gonna have the upper hand. Imagine if this little girl's bullying comes from being bullied, and this story would have went a whole nother way. Because what
That,
this could have been is the father like, yeah, my daughter done had some problems with this little girl, and her knucklehead father and his uncle tried to roll up on me, and I had to just lay him down. Like it's so many different levels to this story.
yep.
And one of the things that Natima and I often discuss when we come across a viral video or something that's trending is what happened 5 minutes before. and then what happened 5 minutes after,
What
because we
happened?
only get that snapshot. Like, that's
Hmm.
what they gave us, that's the nugget, that's what we're
Yep.
going with. But
Yep.
what were the conversations before and what were the conversations after? And so
Right.
now, we're sitting here with bated breath waiting to find out what happens. Like, at this point in time, we need a story time for all the characters involved.
Right.
I need to hear from the two little girls, I need to hear from the uncle, and I need to hear from the other little girl's father. It's just so
And
much
both
that's
they
going.
mamas.
And that part, where the
And
And the
both they
mothers.
mamas.
where the mamas at? Because in all
Right.
honesty, the fact that it went straight to the dads was something that's like, oh, that's different.
That is different.
Right.
It went straight to the dads.
Straight to the
So
fathers.
we have two active fathers in their children's lives, and it immediately went to violence, or not necessarily immediate, but it escalated to
It
violence. Whatever
escalated to violence.
conversations and
Mhm.
meetups happened, it automatically went to violence.
Right.
So yeah, I need more context now. I want to
Right.
know from the other characters that are involved, the
Mm-hmm.
mamas, the little
Mm-hmm.
girls, like, where did at what point in time did it be like, yep, violence is the answer?
Right.
Right.
Because for me,
And
I'll be able to tell you from in my situations and scenarios when the violence happened. But I really
right.
want to know for this one.
Yeah.
When did
And
And
he
here's
you,
the
like
thing too,
choosing that?
though.
someone said in the comments, if there was no social media, would he have reacted the same? Now, depending on who you are, yeah, there are some men who still would have fought. But I agree with the perspective in that the social influence plays a huge part in the decisions that people are making because they're thinking through that lens, like, ooh, I can do this and then post about it. And
Right.
so that is leading people to make these types of decisions because they know, oh, this is clickbait. I can post about this and go viral. And, no different than people who do the clout chasing post and the fake, the fake, what's it, gold digger videos and reels and the fake, I'm turning
Hmm.
down dates, like people doing this stuff intentionally. What if that's the case? We don't even know. We out here in an uproar and we all like, yeah, I would have did the same thing. And we don't even know if it's real. And he talking about jumping and we don't know if that was one or two hits. You probably got two licks in, bro. You again, like you said,
And
context.
then maybe you jumped him because you really can't fight.
This is what I'm
I'm
trying to
just,
say.
You
We
about to have
forget,
me fall out my chair.
but we
I'm just
forget that
saying.
everybody got family members who could fight. Like we all got family members who could fight. And so again, like you said, you're talking about, oh, me and my brother jumped him. But what does jumping look like to you? One or two hits before somebody broke y'all up or before y'all got in the car and pulled off before the police came? Because in my hood, when you jump somebody, they ain't moving. They on the ground for a few. Okay. So
That's what I'm
again,
saying.
like,
That's why.
but
That's
as an
why.
adult, responsible for other lives and other people and other, you know what I'm saying? I just so like Tiff said, we nearing the end of the show, and I have to pull in the healing aspect of this, or I would not be doing my job. I would be irresponsible with this platform. We have got to stop raising our children from our own traumas.
Mm.
And for people who be like, well, you don't know if he had no trauma, he just fed up. Yes, something triggered that behavior, and it's often trauma. Now, whether it's mental or emotional dysregulation, it comes from trauma. So don't challenge me, go Google it, okay? Everything that we do that is a part of our deficiency is based off of unresolved trauma, okay? I'm in school for this. Trust me when I say. But anyway, I really want us to do better at healing our own trauma so that we're not parenting our children through it. We don't have time to talk about it tonight, but I'll quickly share. I was watching another video because as Tiff and I, we dig when we have topics. We do a lot of research because we want to be able to offer more than just one perspective. And I watched this video. A father was jogging with his daughter, and the caption was, giving my daughter an attitude adjustment, my teen, an attitude adjustment. Now, the girl was not a teen, she was a tween. She couldn't have been no more than 12 years old. She's jogging in Crocs down the street with him, and he's holding the camera pointed at her. And he goes, I'm taking you out of gymnastics for the rest of the month. She starts to cry and then slows down to like have an emotional moment. He goes, no, keep running, stop crying because you need an attitude adjustment and you're going to earn this and you're going to work for this and blah, blah, blah. And he's recording her having an emotional breakdown that she's trying to fight through because he's recording her. So she's not allowing herself to feel what she needs to feel in that moment because she's being recorded for social media because daddy feels the need to correct his daughter for the world to see. Would you be less of a parent if you didn't record that? Could you not have had the exact same conversation with your daughter but not post it on social media? Again, trauma. We're
Mhm.
creating trauma. The one thing that's supposed to be a safe space for your child, you are the one that is making her feel unsafe. You are the
Yep.
one that's not providing her the psychological safety that she needs to really cope with what you just told her. Clearly, she loves gymnastics and you're taking it from her for whatever reason, which is within your right as a parent. But what I don't agree is why is it going on social media? We are traumatizing our children because of our own selfish pursuit to be viral. You could have been a good father staying your stupid ass off social media. And I
Yep.
said what I said because I know people in the comments was coming for me like, that's his daughter. He parent her how he wants. You're absolutely right. But this is now going to be another young lady who grows up and does not know how to trust men. Another young lady who's going to grow up believing that that is how men are supposed to treat her, that they're supposed to disrespect her publicly, that they're supposed to berate her publicly and not allow her to feel emotions. And then you walk around talking about too many women are masculine. Well, when you being raised by men like that, what else are we supposed to be? Because the father told her she couldn't cry, which is a natural emotion when something that you enjoy has been taken from you. You respond in tears. And then you're
Mhm.
telling her she can't cry and you're putting it on social media. You don't think her peers and her classmates are going to see the video and then make fun of her for it because the man that's supposed to protect her is the man that's bullying her? Like, come on, y'all. We have got to do better. If you're going to
Mhm.
be a parent, be a parent. If you're going to be a content creator, be a content creator, but keep them separate. You don't have to post every damn thing that you do as a parent, especially when it's at the cost of your children. Like, why? Why is social validation that important to y'all? I really just don't understand. And so I hurt for that little girl because I'm like, she's going to grow up feeling like one, she can't be emotional, she can't cry, and that the one person that was supposed to protect her is the one that broke her heart publicly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you know, like, you are this much of a man to me, sir, whoever you are this much of a man to me, if that, because that is the lowest thing that you could ever do to a little girl, to any child. And the neighbor yells out and goes, what is she off to military school? So clearly he can see that you was doing the most to your own daughter because he's sitting there thinking you must be getting her ready for military school while you're berating her and chastising her like the way that you are publicly. And they were running down, I guess, a neighborhood street.
Yeah.
And so I really do not understand why we think being on social media, parenting on social media, defending our children on social media, praising our children on social media is for them when it's really for us. Because that was the most selfish thing that you could ever do was do that to your little girl. And now here it is, another woman that's going to carry a generational cycle. Because guess what? She going to repeat that if it don't get broken in her first. I pray it do.
Mhm.
But if she doesn't get healing for that, guess what she going to do to her kids? And guess what her kids going to do to their kids? So for all of you cycle breakers and generational curse breakers, let's start with ourselves because we're creating this in our own kids. All
Mhm.
because we got to be seen and we got to be liked and we got to be hearted and we got to be followed. And now you're traumatizing your own children. So shame on you, dude. And I ask people in the comments to tag him because I want to have a conversation with him. I don't usually deal with men. I'm called to women, but bruh, I'm bothered. I'm bothered by you because that's going to be a young woman that I'm called to minister to later because of what you've done in her. And it's sad and it's not necessary. So, anyway, I just had to get that out because it was burning a hole in my chest today. I literally hurt for that little girl. And it made
Mhm.
me grateful for my father. And I called my daddy, shout out to Kevin Harrington, because I thank God for the man that raised me. My father would never. ever do that to me or my siblings. Like for some fame that you ain't even guaranteed to have, all because of some fame pursuit. Shame on you, dude. So for those who saw the video, if you know that man, say Tima called him out because that's disgusting. So anyway, ladies, any last comment
I
or
have
anything
one.
you want to say before
I
we
have
go?
one. I have one, and it really has to do with the children. I'm a content creator. I'm a parent. You never know when my kids piss me off because I don't take it there. I only You would think my kids are perfect because I only post the positive things that they're doing.
Yep.
What I need to happen is those embarrassing, those humiliating moments, I can't stand the videos. There's one going around where the parents are putting the little kids in the bathroom with the telephone and be like, "You got 1 minute to curse," and the kids are like, "Shit, bitch, motherfucker." These are little kids who, if it's on the internet, is there forever. This is a child who needs to apply for college or higher education, a job. Can we please think about them after the moment of whatever it is? There's so much embarrassment, parents beating the kids, of reprimands. I'm sure, like little cute, funny ones, like when the kids are under the anesthesia, like those I find funny or whatever. But when your intention is to humiliate and degrade this child, the child that you're supposed to be rearing up to face the world, you are
Right.
only giving the world the ammunition. Say the word right, the ammunition to break them down.
Yep.
What was your purpose? What was it about destroying this child that made you feel good about yourself?
Tiff, that's so good. That is so good. Ammunition to destroy our own children. The one place they're supposed to feel safe, the one person they're supposed to count on is the person making them feel the lowest. And I'm not judging nobody because I ain't a great parent. I have my days where I am like, ooh, that wasn't good. I need to apologize to my daughter. I should have said it like that. I was stressed and I took it out on her. But I ain't posting it and embarrassing her. I'm mature enough and healed enough to say, baby girl, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk to you that way. I kind of got out of pocket. I was frustrated, but it wasn't your fault. I'm sorry. And even if you apologize for it, it's an apology you shouldn't have to give if you didn't do it. You didn't have to put that on social media. And then, like you said, Tiff, there's the one with the letting the kids curse, and then there's the one with scaring the shit out of the kids. Why is that funny to y'all? That's trauma. Why is it funny to you to traumatize your own children? Like, I don't get it. Like, I literally cannot comprehend. Why is that humorous and comical and entertaining for you to watch your baby scared to death? For you to get like for you. That's the most selfish thing you can do. And parenting is supposed to be selfless.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be selfless. And Mel, I'm gonna come to you, but the last thing I want to say, I was in a thread, in that thread, and going back and forth with some parents, something I usually never do. But I was going back and forth with some parents, and someone said, well, you know, our kids, the least we could do is become famous for all the stuff we gotta do for them. And my first response was super, super old school team, like super nasty, like B word dropped, a bit like I was getting ready to go in. And then I deleted everything and I said, well, you ain't doing them no favor. That's your responsibility as a parent. Like you signed up for that. When you decided to be a mother, that came with providing and caring and protecting and nurturing. And that came with the job description. They didn't ask to be here. You could have swallowed her. Boo. You ain't want to be a parent. You should have swallowed her. Okay, I said what I said. So you chose to be a parent, then parent, and don't make your children pay for the things that you're supposed to do for them. You're supposed to provide a safe space for them. You are supposed to make sure that they eat and have clothes on their back. They don't owe you for that later. They can thank you for it and be grateful for it, but they don't owe you anything for it. And so I literally am just at a place where I'm indignant about it because it's hurtful and harmful. And it's not like you're going to get them the therapy that they need. It's not like you're going to apologize or do better because you're all about you. And so, no, your children they don't owe you fame. They don't owe you clout and validation. They don't owe you nothing except respect and good grades. That's it. So for women who think like that, like, oh well, the least they could do is make me famous, you're crazy. They don't do that. Anyway, Mel, I'm gonna come to you.
I'm still stuck. I don't know what to say after you should have swallowed them. I'm just, that hurt my feelings. I don't even got um I think I'm not like just listening to everything and really thinking about everything and where we are. I think one of the biggest problems that we have is that somewhere along the line we've redefined what community means.
Part.
Um, we don't operate as a community, and
Nope.
I mean, back in the day, even when we were kids, I mean, it wasn't as strong as it was back in the day. But even when we were kids, it was a little bit stronger, where people checked one another.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
if your kids was out there acting crazy, like, it didn't matter whether or not your mom or your daddy saw you, because if Miss Sheila up the block saw you, you was gonna get checked. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And then
Yep.
vice versa, because even as a parent, if you were acting out of accord, whoever the elder was going to check you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
so there was a level of community in where it was not just about what happened in your house, but it was like, no, what happens around me matters. So I'm going to make sure that I am accountable for everyone that's in my community.
Yep.
And there was a certain level of accountability that was afforded in that. So you had these checks and balances where before you did certain things, you were like, "Oh, what if?" Even as an adult, like before my grandmother passed away, I still remember when I would go back to New York and I went to certain areas, I was very conscious about how, like, presenting myself and what I did, because God forbid somebody that knew my grandmother saw me out of
Yep.
character.
Yep.
I'm like, I was still concerned about that.
Yep.
And so I think our understanding or definition of community, because now our community is global.
Mm-hmm.
So it happened in Texas. I live in Florida. Oh, what happened there, so that doesn't affect me. It does.
Right.
Because although we don't live in the same demographic community,
Mm-hmm.
we are still part of the same community.
Yep.
And no matter how you want to look at it, we all get grouped together,
Mm-hmm.
lumped. And so I think if this community aspect of, like you said, there were some people, but if as a community we cared about the safety of our children, not just the children that live in your house or directly connected
Right.
to your bloodline,
Right.
if as a community we cared about mothers and fathers and how they appear and show up in the family structure, not
Mm-hmm.
just in your family, and some of them don't even care about how it happens in your family. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if we start caring about that, then some of this stuff wouldn't be so cute,
Right.
so trendy, so haha. Because we'll
Right.
laugh at things and we'll kiki about things because it's we don't feel like it has a direct correlation or relation to us specifically because
Right.
it's not in our home. And unfortunately, in our culture, more than any other culture, we have this innate divide about what happens in my house versus what happens in that other person's house. Where
Yep.
at one point it didn't matter. It was like, no, what happens to us
Right.
happens. So no,
Right.
don't go out, you can't go out there and do this, because if you go do this, you make us look bad. No, you can't be that way, because if you do that, that is going to affect how we get to do things.
Yep.
And we've lost that. Our community has gotten so big, but yet so small at the same time.
Yep. Yep. Social media has definitely made the world smaller, but like you said, we lost community a long, long time ago. And I'm gonna come to you all for your final thoughts and your gems. But I just want to say to people who love to be in my DMs asking me about my faith and, well, why do you curse and why do you say the things that you say if you believe in God? Let me tell you something. I can believe in the Lord and still be on my own personal journey of healing and learning how to watch my mouth. And it's something that I am working on, but never will I ever not say the things that are on my heart. I may have to clean it up a little bit, but I am always going to speak from my heart because it bothers me. So instead of focusing on the profanity or the colorful language or the colloquialism that I chose to use in describing and making a certain point, why don't you focus on what I'm saying? Did you catch the part that I'm talking about community and accountability and maturity? Are you focused on that, or are you only focused on the fact that I said ass twice? So again, instead of correcting the small things that I'm saying that may bother you or upset you, or for some reason don't align with what you believe or what you think a believer should sound and look like, focus on my message. Let's do better at being better people for our children. Let's focus on healing. Did you catch that part? Let, let's focus on healing instead of being concerned with oh, no. I'm so, I get the messages every week after the call. I really think that, the people of God will receive you better if you talk like what? Come check the fruit in my life.
Listen, I'm about
I
to
may not always say the right things, but I am living the right way. Am I living perfect? No, but I am leading by example. I'm choosing not to do certain things that I used to do, and I'm choosing to do things now that I didn't always, because it's about improving. So please don't get caught up on a few words that I may have said and miss the whole message of accountability and community, healing and wholeness. Let's be faithful to our children. Like Mel said, let's get back to community, common unity. Let's start there. Don't worry about what I said in terms of the adjectives that I've used or the adverbs that I've used. Focus on the overall message, because you get so caught up on that you missed everything else that I said. And so I just wanted to drop that because I had somebody in my DMs like 2 episodes ago. I like what you have to say, but I just feel like sometimes your choice of words are. But guess what? I'm gonna reach people who talk like that, because not everybody speaks like my 3 degrees. Not everybody speaks like the church house, the Baptist. They don't all talk like that. Some people talk like they from the streets, and I want to reach those people. And so it's not an excuse. It's just saying, if that's how I got to talk to get their attention, I got their attention, and clearly I got yours too. So please focus on the right things and what we're trying to say. Let's be better parents. Let's show up and be better partners in our communities. Let's show up and be better leaders in our communities. Focus on that. Take that away from tonight. All right? All right, Mel, I'm going to come to you
I'm
first.
so glad that they in your DMs about that and not mine, because the Lord,
It's so
see, because
annoying.
the Lord, He's still working on my mouth for sure. Because I promise you, they wrote me out. I'd have been like, how about you worry about why your 6-year-old can't read but they can twerk? Send. Like, I'm sorry. I'm so rude. I hate stuff like that. It's the hypocrisy.
It's
Like,
so annoying.
ma'am,
It's so annoying.
Now they gonna
you
be
worrying about I'm
revealing just
cursing,
when you
and
said they not.
listen, you worrying about if I said 2 cuss words, and did you pay your tithes this week? Like, get off
Period.
my line. Like,
Seriously.
stop talking to me. I
Luckily
can't.
for me, Jesus ain't looking for perfection. He's looking for willing, and I'm willing. Okay. I'm willing to serve his people. Okay.
Look,
All right. Mel, go
Jesus
ahead. What's your
tell
gem?
him
Drop
Jesus
your
made this
gem.
mouth. He know what come out of it. Look, he created it. I don't really have a whole lot
Oh,
left to say.
good.
I think for me, my gem is really just be conscious of what you're leaving out in the world, whatever it is. Be
Yeah.
conscious of that, especially in this new age of social media. Be conscious of what you put out there, because the delete button doesn't delete. Be conscious, and be aware of that. Just like in this situation we talk about, say with bullying, when you bully somebody has other consequences for other people. Understand that what you put out there, what you say, what you release into the world, does not just impact you. It has impact and consequences on other people, because it's open to the world. So just be
Yeah.
conscious of what you say and how you say it and what you're putting out there. Um, and be aware of what do you want your legacy to be, because everything you say out there is a part of who you're going to be remembered for.
Yep. Yep. That's so good. Tiff. You look like you had something to say when I was cutting up about people in my DMs.
I said, I said similar to what Mel said, better yours than mine because I'm spicy and I never claim to be saved.
I'm done.
I hate Tiffany.
I'm done. Well, look, I do. Okay, but go ahead, Tiff. Drop your gem for the people.
My gem for this evening is Minnie Houston says she believes the children said that she believed the children are the future, and they are. However, what future are we preparing them for if we are breaking them before they are even molded?
Mm,
We are sending broken individuals out into a world that is already broken and chaotic and looking at them to fix it. And you can't fix the outside if the inside isn't fixed. So we always have to start with self first. We always have to fix ourselves first.
Yeah.
And from three women who are trying to fix and heal the world while trying to fix and heal themselves, that is double duty the work. And so this is why it seems like society is a two steps forward, one step back, because I have to heal something in order to fix it. But then once I get to that next level, I realize that I'm not capable of fixing the next level because there's still something within me that I have to fix. Imagine where we could be if we released into the world whole children,
mm,
whole young people who have the ingenuity, the power,
Love
the
that.
strength, the mindset to fix the world because they want to do it.
Yep.
But we got
Yep.
to give them the safe space to be able to grow and become confident enough to be able to do that. The child who can fix world hunger, the child who can fix the political system, the child who could cure a disease right now may be getting bullied by a parent and being and having that whole capability cut off.
Yep.
And so
Yep.
now we have longer to go because we stopped the blessing from happening because we destroyed it as the parent, as the adult, as the community who is supposed to be flourishing and nourishing that child.
mm.
Man, that's a gem drop. That was so good. That was so good, Tiff.
That was a
Thank you
gym
so much for
avalanche.
thank you, Mel. Huh?
I said that was a gym avalanche. That one didn't
Seriously.
stop. Like,
That was so, so good. Dang, like I'm damn, Tiff, that was good. All right. So look, my gem is I was reading Dr. Anita Phillips' book again, The Garden Within. I'm a proponent of reading, and I think you should read something more than once because you're never going to get everything you're supposed to get the first time. So there was new revelation when I read it the second time. And a scripture that I've read a million times, Proverbs 27:3 says, "So that a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." And her book really teaches that what we need to address is the heart, not the mind first. Not saying you don't need to address your mind at all, but you need to start with your heart because it says, so that a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And I know that social media tells us all the memes about changing our mindset and, adjusting our energy and changing the way we think about things. And if you think it, you can manifest it. But I promise you, if you don't get the right heart condition, nothing you think will work out. Nothing that you think about will manifest if you don't first have it in your heart. So let's work on our heart. Let's work on the way we feel about ourselves. Let's allow ourselves to feel true emotion. If you're angry, if you're fearful, if you're hurting, give yourself the space and the grace to feel what you're feeling. Allow yourself to feel so that you can deal and heal. And I mean that wholeheartedly. That is something that I'm learning. It's something that I had to learn the hard way. I kept thinking I had to power through stuff and be strong through it and man up through it. I ain't a man, I'm a woman. And I'm going to woman up through it by crying if that's how I feel, by admitting that I'm scared and angry and hurt and betrayed and upset and unsure. And you know what I'm saying? And feeling inferior or feeling anxiety or overwhelmed, allow yourself to feel it. Because when you can get your heart right, everything else has to line up. We used to think it was the mind first. It's your heart first. Because I got good thoughts all day, but I still hurt in here. I have strong thoughts all day about being powerful and smart, but it's in here. And so I'm just encouraging somebody, deal with your heart condition, figure out what is in your heart and why you keep thinking the things that you're thinking, because it's coming from here. It's coming from the heart, not my right breast. Okay. Because there's always somebody stupid. It's always like Tima was pointing to her boob. Like, no, I'm talking about my heart. Okay. So listen, thank y'all so much. We saw y'all in the comments tonight. Forgive us for not coming over. We just was really thank you, Zinda. Hi, welcome to the show. Thank you so much, Kiara. Shout out to you, love. We see you in the comments. Zinda says, do you go to schools and speak to the students because there are so many that are broken? It is on our list of things to do. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight and dropping that amazing comment. I so love that. We are looking to grow and expand our marketplace ministry into the schools right now. We've just been invited into corporate spaces to teach wellness through journaling. So let us tackle that, and then we're gonna go to the schools. But if you would love to connect us with someone, please do. Zinda, if you know anyone here in the Atlanta area that can use the Diamond Writers, we would love to come and speak to their students. Just let us know, and we will be on the way. Hello, Paula. We see you in the comments. Thank you for being here. Yes, get that heart right, y'all. Get the heart right. Come on, Kiara. He says, I love God and I cuss a little bit. Jesus is working on me. Indeed, he is.
Okay.
Welcome to the show. Hey, Danielle, we see you in the comments. Taisha, Jessica, Colleen, we see you in the comments. Thank y'all so much for being here tonight. Of course, just a friendly reminder that has hit the market. Go and grab your copy. You would love this book. We actually made an update to the manuscript 2 days ago, and I think you're going to love some of the small changes that we made to make the book even greater. So we apologize to those of you who have the first copy. Your manuscript is not going to be as dope on the inside, but the content is the same. But thank y'all for all of those who supported the purchase of the book. We sold over 250 copies since April 30th. Clap, 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 clap. That's amazing. We had an amazing virtual release. Thank you so much for the shares, the likes. We had 2 winners. They should have received their gift boxes by now. But thank you all for the love and the support. We really appreciate how you're supporting and championing this community. Of course, continue to show us love by liking, sharing, and subscribing. We don't post a Cash App. We don't post a PayPal. There are some who do it, and we ain't judging them. But we do not feel called to do that. But when the Holy Spirit says yes, just know that it will. But for right now, your likes, your shares, your comments are enough. So until next time, y'all know what to do. Continue to hustle and shine. Good night, y'all. Have a good night.
Let's go. Let's go.